Hello and welcome. It is the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival. There are going to be 200 films from over 14 countries, all happening March 21st to the 24th of this year. I am your host, Emily DeSimone, and I am here with film director Carl Kelsch for Scammers. So, Carl, introduce yourself, talk about the film, give us a little tidbit to our audience.
Yeah. So Scammers is a 17-minute short film, and it's based on something that happened to me last summer where I was scammed by what they call a dent repair scam artist. And since making this film and taking it to a couple festivals already, I can tell you, I just keep meeting people who are like, this has happened to me. So maybe some people are watching this and they know what a dent repair scam is. It means you've been approached by someone in a parking lot. Um, they're telling you they can fix your dent really easily. They are saying, oh, just take my card, or I can do it at your house, or I'm mobile, and you don't want to spend the money at a shop doing this. So sounds like something many of you were like, who would even fall for that? But if I went into the details, it might make it a little more understandable. But safe to say, um, I ended up, with a very shoddily done repair. I spent $400. I felt strong armed to give this person the money. I felt they would probably kick my car or tail me if I didn't. So it was kind of like an aggressive thing. And the people who do it are usually men, and sometimes there's more than one. So it's all about pressure. And I was just so thrown by getting scammed in this dent repair scam that I realized, I'm about to make a new short film, and I think I found my idea.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
So, okay, so you're into short films. This is the first short film that you've made?
well, I've made a couple other short films kind of dotted, maybe like 3, 4, 5 years apart. I've mostly had other directors direct my work. My pandemic epiphany was that um, I had kind of like gotten to a point where I built up management skills and my work life, my day job, and it just suddenly directing didn't feel scary anymore. And I realized I had identified as a writer, but my heart always wanted to dabble more in directing. And this is the first film that I've directed that costs over $1,000, and in a lot of ways, it feels like my first short film.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome that this is your first work that you've directed and it's been
Yeah.
accepted into this film festival. Can you tell the audience about what the process was like and how it was different between being a writer and now that you were the director, any challenges that you faced?
Yeah. I mean, as a writer, you can say, I can have a crowd scene at a dining hall. I can have a concert scene. I can do, something really complicated. And you're not going to have to solve the problem of how to get a great location and fill it with the extras you need. So, as a writer, the first thing is, it can stop you in your tracks knowing you're going to direct it yourself. I've had, the blank page for months trying to get up to writing Scammers before that incident happened, or writing something to direct. And I think a lot of the challenges start to think, what resources do I have? What's the scale I want? And because the incident had happened to me and a lot of it was outside, it just let me wrap my head around really seeing I could direct this, because the scale of it is really simple and I have a sense memory of it happening. And I know that I can just aim for recreating that environment, that feeling. And it just made it much more um, easy to grasp what would be involved in the very daunting thing of, like, honestly, as a director on a scale like this, you're kind of also producing. So I was the one having to solve all those problems, locations, and how to make the car look dented without denting the car for real.
So speaking, like touching on that topic where you're saying like creating, in real life what you were writing in your head, where did you find, the actors that you had in this film? And where did you, if you don't mind me asking, where did you film?
Yeah. Uh, the great thing about being a writer, I've always done screenplay readings of my scripts for an audience, and that's a great way to have actors discover your work and to just, have a great experience of celebrating a finished screenplay, sharing it with people for a feature that might never get made. So Daniel Stewart Sherman was in a couple of my screenplay readings, and he is the scam artist. And the script centers on the scam artist as the main character because I really wanted to think, how do these people sleep at night? What do they feel about what they do? And he's sort of a bulky guy. I felt like he had that physical ability to be physically intimidating. So when I reached out to him, and his cachet had kind of gone up over the years. An episode of Black Mirror, the one with Miley Cyrus as the pop star, he plays this bouncer named Bear who gets, I think he gets offed in the episode. He was in Kinky Boots for 5 years, originating the role of Don, and that was something that happened after I worked with him on a screenplay reading. So I went back to him through his agent, and I was like, if I can get him, this will be awesome. And he was into it. And he lives in the city, so he was able to come out to New Jersey where we shot. And then the other key was the scam artist has a daughter in my short, so that's a person who's going to have to be believably 17 years old, 18 years old, actually 18 because it's the character's birthday on the day that the story is set. And I was so lucky to have in my social circle through her parents, knowing this actor Nico Schumacher, who made her debut short film with this, and I'd seen her in her high school plays just because I was, wanted to, support their family, and their parents were like, "Come see Nico and the Adams Family" or whatever. Interestingly, although I thought of her as a musical theater person, she was like really what I want to do with short films. And I auditioned her just once. I didn't audition anyone else. I felt like serious about it, and then she was like tearing up on cue in our audition, and I was like, wow, this young person has it. And I just feel like the to put someone really experienced next to someone who's really new to it, it's just kind of a nerve-wracking thing to go into as a director. But I made sure they had a little time to bond on Zoom before in a read through that we did. And um, I just think they both just feel like so lived in as a father and daughter.
No,
Do
I mean,
you did you see that?
yes, I watched it. I thought they were a
Mm.
fantastic cast. I totally believed that they were father and daughter. So, Carl, how did you find the Garden State Film Festival real quick, if I can ask?
Well, it's interesting. I feel like when I definitely went the film freeway route, which a lot of filmmakers do because it gives you access to really browse film festivals, and somehow like it didn't come up in some of my like state searches. And I was listening to 1010 Wins one day, and they mentioned the Garden State Film Festival in passing in connection to some story. 1010 Wins, I have it on in my house all the time. And I was like, how was this festival not on my radar? And especially it's not that surprising because this is new to me to even be submitting a film to a festival. But when I really got the breadth and scope of how critical this film festival is to New Jersey film culture, it feels like the perfect place to have our New Jersey premiere. This was shot in Rutherford, Lyndhurst, East Rutherford, um, Patterson. We filmed at this place called Gelato in Patterson, which is this great ice cream place. They let us shoot next to their establishment. It was just great. We shot by Lee's Hawaiian in Lyndhurst, which many viewers might know. It's another uh, classic New Jersey institution.
Yeah, so I guess as like maybe my last like big question. So this was your first time directing, and for the people that haven't really gone into the writing before or the producing before, people haven't directed before, who will be just entering the film world for the first time, perhaps teenagers or adults with no experience, what is one piece of advice that you can give to them?
share the script with some people you really trust, whose taste you like. Keep telling them you want to hear the real deal, um, and get the script as good as possible. I feel like, I had an edge with a film I'm really proud of because I feel like I've been writing for so long. Um, and I knew that it worked as a script before going in. And I knew if I can just have these, get this onto to tape without any distractions, like a bad take or a line reading that felt false, I knew that I would have something. And I feel like that was where the key was, the script and getting feedback. Your script's going to get seen by, your movie's going to get seen by an audience. You don't want someone after you took all this time to tell you, it doesn't make sense or that felt very unresolved at the end. These are problems that people can tell from reading it on the page, and you should get some eyes on it and
Thank
be
you.
ready to rewrite.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
that piece of advice. That's actually, I think that's one I haven't heard before. So that's
yeah.
actually a really good piece of advice. Thank you for that. So, this is going to be screening on Saturday during the weekend at the Cranberry Theater. The block will be from 8:30 p.m. to 10:15 p.m. So, Carl, thank you so much for joining us. I really am excited to see you at the film festival this year, where there are over 200 films screening across 8 venues, including hosting parties, panels, events, and more. So, guys, get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. My name is Emily. Thank you again so much, Carl, as a director, writer, and producer, for joining me. I will see you at the festival, and I'm so excited to see it at the festival. Bye, guys.